All right, so everyone's buzzing about this new app,
Yeah.
Bluesky, and we're going to deep dive into that today.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like, this whole Bluesky thing, it's been going on for a while.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just like you know, it's not a flash in the pan.
Yeah.
It's been, like, almost 3 months that it's been building and building and building.
It seems like a perfect storm, though, right? Like, we had the whole Brazil thing where X was banned temporarily, and then the election happens.
Right.
And everyone's freaking out about Elon Musk and Trump. And so it seems like Bluesky's just like
Well, yeah, I
right
know.
for the picking.
They're adding 1 million new users every day.
Wow.
They're at 18 million users right now.
Yeah, it's massive.
SimilarWeb has said that there's a surge in account deactivations on X.
Oh, wow.
And also, like, a dip in their traffic.
Really?
A day after the election.
That's crazy.
It's really interesting.
Yeah. But so it's interesting to me, too, because they're not just trying to be another Twitter. They're really hitting on some key differences that I think are really smart.
Decentralization is one of the biggest things.
Okay.
Like, imagine if instead of having, like, an Amazon, which controls everything,
Yeah.
you had a bunch of, like, independent bookstores.
Okay.
That's kind of what Bluesky is going for.
Oh, interesting.
It's not all controlled by one company,
Okay.
so it's more resistant to censorship.
I see.
And people have more control over their data.
Okay, but then how do they manage it?
Right.
Like, how do they deal with content moderation and all of that?
Yeah, that's a big question
Yeah.
that they're trying to answer.
Yeah.
They're working on automated content moderation tools
Uh-huh.
to try to, like, filter out bad stuff.
Okay.
And they have these really interesting features that are designed to combat negativity.
Oh, like what?
So, like, they have really aggressive blocking features.
Okay.
So if you don't like somebody, you just block them.
Uh-huh.
And then the other thing is that their feed is chronological. So you see posts in the order that they were made.
Interesting.
There's no algorithm deciding what you see.
Okay, so no more algorithm.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's a big claim.
And then another thing is that they've pledged not to use your data to train AI.
But is that even possible?
Mm-hmm.
Can you have a platform that's truly algorithm-free and also effectively moderates content, especially when you're growing this fast?
Yeah, that's the big question.
Yeah.
And, you know, even Jay Graber, the CEO of Bluesky,
Okay.
she's like, we're having growing pains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of growing pains are we talking?
Well, one of the things is technical issues.
Mm-hmm.
They've had some slowdowns.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that.
And, like, downtime.
It's probably hard to keep up.
Yeah, because you have so many people joining.
Yeah.
It's like
shoving a whole library into a tiny backpack.
right.
You need a bigger backpack.
Exactly. And then content moderation, too.
Yeah.
With all these new users coming in, how do you keep up with all the spam and the trolls and all that?
Right, right. It's a hard problem to solve.
It is.
So it sounds like they're trying to really chart a new course
Uh-huh.
in social media.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
It's not just about technology, though. There's also, like, a human element.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's this really interesting cultural dynamic happening on Bluesky right now.
Oh.
Like, there's this tension between the old guard and the newcomers.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, so you have these, like, early adopters, like the Bluesky elders, who, like, helped build the initial culture.
Yeah.
And now they're seeing all these new people coming in who might have, like, different expectations.
It's like when your favorite little restaurant
Right.
that nobody knows about
Exactly.
suddenly blows up.
Yeah.
And you're like happy for them,
Yeah.
but also like,
It's going to change.
yeah, it's going to change.
Yeah.
And maybe not for the better,
Right.
you know?
So there's this whole thing on Bluesky now about, like, don't engage, just block.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Because they're like, we don't want to change the culture.
Yeah.
You know, like, we don't want the wrong kind of people
But
coming in.
It's hard because with any platform that grows,
Right.
you're going to get that
Right.
influx of new users.
That's what Graber calls the eternal September.
Oh, tell me more about that.
So it's like, it's from the early days of the internet.
Okay.
When, like, these established online communities
Yeah.
would suddenly get this, like, huge influx of new people.
Okay.
It's like the start of a new school year.
I see.
Where, you know, all the new kids come in.
Yeah, yeah.
And it, like, disrupts the whole social dynamic.
Right.
And it's September.
So Bluesky's going through its eternal September right now.
Exactly.
Interesting. But can they do anything to, like, avoid becoming a victim of that?
Well, they're trying.
Okay.
Graber has talked about, like, giving users more control.
Okay.
So, like, customizable feeds,
Oh.
you know, granular privacy settings. So you can really, like, curate your own little corner of Bluesky.
Okay, so more personalization.
Right.
But can they really keep up with content moderation
Right.
with all these new users?
That's the big question.
It's a tough one.
It is. They're trying to find this balance between, keeping things healthy.
Yeah.
But also upholding this commitment to user control.
It's a tightrope.
It is.
For sure.
But it makes you think, like, why are people so drawn to Bluesky?
Yeah, why now?
Yeah.
What does it say about what people want from social media?
I think there's this, like, growing disillusionment with the way things are.
Right.
People are tired of being products, tired of algorithms,
Totally.
all the negativity.
Yeah.
They want something different.
It's like they want something more authentic.
Right.
More like a community.
Exactly.
And less like a...
Like a machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bluesky seems to offer that.
Yeah. With this decentralization, user control.
It's almost like a nostalgia for the early days of the internet.
Right.
When things felt more...
open, less commercial, more about connection.
Yeah. Can they really recreate that magic, though?
Right.
While also dealing with all the challenges of growth?
That's the question.
It's a fascinating experiment.
It is.
Like unfolding right before our eyes.
It really is. And it reminds us that we have a role to play in this, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We're not just passive consumers.
Right.
We're active participants.
We have a choice.
We do.
You know what I was thinking about?
What's that?
When I was doing research for this?
Yeah.
Was how much Bluesky is being compared to Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
In like 2014.
Yeah.
Like that early Twitter.
It's that simplicity.
Yeah, and that authenticity.
Right.
Before it all became what it is now.
A mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if it's like a cyclical thing.
Yeah.
These platforms become successful.
Yeah.
And then they lose that spark.
They get too big.
Yeah.
Too commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a cozy coffee shop versus a giant mall.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want that little coffee shop vibe.
Exactly.
So it's about being intentional with what you want.
Absolutely.
And choosing the platforms.
That reflect that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not just about following the trends. It's about being thoughtful.
Being mindful.
Yeah. About what you want.
What are your values?
Yeah.
What kind of experience do you want to have?
Exactly. This is so interesting.
It is.
We've gone way beyond Bluesky.
Yeah.
And into like...
the nature of community, our relationship with technology.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's big.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is a lot to think about.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's exciting.
It is.
To see this all happening.
It really is.
Like new platforms coming up and old ones adapting.
Yeah, like what even is social media anymore?
Right, exactly.
It's changing so fast.
Yeah. And you know what's cool?
What?
Is that it really shows that we have the power.
We do. As users. Like we're not just, just along for the ride.
Yeah, we can actually shape things.
We can.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, okay, I have one more thought about all this.
Yeah.
I keep thinking about Bluesky.
Yeah.
And how it's like this throwback to like old Twitter.
Yeah, like 2014 Twitter.
Yeah, exactly.
Like before it became a dumpster fire.
Yeah, before it became a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
But like, back when it was like
simple.
Yeah.
Authentic.
Real conversation.
Yeah. It felt more intimate.
Right, like a digital town square.
Yeah.
And you bump into your friends and you have interesting conversations.
Yeah. And you don't feel like you're being
bombarded.
Yeah, bombarded with a million things.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you think this is like
a cycle?
Yeah, like is this just what happens?
Yeah.
They get big.
They get too big.
They lose their spark.
They have to make money.
Yeah.
So they start.
And then they start doing all this stuff.
Yeah, they prioritize the wrong things.
Yeah.
Instead
of the users.
Engagement, advertisement.
It's like a cozy coffee shop.
Yeah.
That turns into a giant mall.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just want that coffee shop.
You do.
Sometimes
you just want that
vibe.
That quiet corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's about being intentional.
Right.
About what you want.
Absolutely.
And finding those spaces.
Yeah. Find the spaces
that feel right.
That reflect your values.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't just hop on the bandwagon.
Right. Be thoughtful.
Yeah.
Be deliberate.
Yeah. What do you actually want?
Yeah. What kind of experience do you want?
This has been such a great deep dive.
It has.
We've gone way beyond Bluesky. Like really thinking about community and
our role in it all.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
It has been.
Yeah.
So to everyone listening.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us.
We hope this got you thinking.
Yeah.
About all this stuff.
Yeah. And whether you join Bluesky or not.
Right.
Just be mindful.
Be mindful. Be intentional.
Yeah. Make good choices.
Yeah. About your online life.
Absolutely.
So until next time.
Stay curious.
That's right. Keep exploring.
And that's a wrap on this episode of The Deep Dive.